We want to blame everyone and everything other than ourselves for all the stuff that's going on in our lives. It's so much easier to find somebody or a group of somebodies that we can put the blame on, instead of looking inside and being honest about what's going on in us. And this should be a good example for us, because David is the man after God's own heart. David, the king, should have been out on the battlefield with his soldiers fighting, but he chose not to do that. In fact, what I'm going to argue is that David broke all 10 commandments and committed all 7 deadly sins in one single chapter of the Bible. He just falls victim to all of the sin of the world and his life around him. He's home at the castle. He should be out on the battlefield fighting, but he's not. He sees a woman bathing. He decides he wants her. Bring her to me. They spend some time together. It turns out eventually that he discovers that she's pregnant. Got a problem now, David, don't you? He finds out that this woman's husband, his name is Uriah, he's one of David's soldiers. He's out on the battlefield fighting. So David comes up with a plan. He says, let's bring Uriah back, and I'll invite Uriah to go be with his wife for a little while. That'll take care of everything. Uriah chooses not to do that. He's a right upstanding man. He says, I can't do that, Your Majesty. All my other colleagues are out fighting on the battlefield. They're not home. I can't do it either. So now David's really in a quandary. So he calls up his general out on the field. I don't know if he called him up. He probably, I didn't text him or something, but he got a hold of him. Pigeon carrier or something. And he says, I want you to put Uriah on the front lines where the fighting is the most intense. And then I want you to retreat all of the other men and just leave him out there. Of course, he's killed. So now David has committed adultery. He's committed murder. Certainly pride and envy and lust and sloth and all these other things have welled up in his heart. It hits him. Verse 13. I have sinned against the Lord. I have sinned against the Lord. He could have blamed anybody he wanted. He's the king. He could blame Bathsheba. He could blame Uriah. He could blame anybody. He could blame Nathan. But he takes it.